Hi folks, welcome back to my channel. I am back with my brand new video, right? Where we're going to understand about data blocks today, right? In our previous video, I think we have discussed about variable blocks, which was very informative session again, right? So I hope you might have understood so many concepts in that video, right? So we have understood about how to create a variable, how to declare it, how to use it, okay? And then we've discussed about what is a string, how about the string functions, and then we have discussed about list, array, and few list functions, how to insert and remove the items, and what are the functions to use for those things, right? And what are the parameters you have to pass in them. And then we understood about a dictionary, right? You can also call it as object here, right? How to enter key value pairs, right? How to add pairs, how to get the pairs, right? So we understood all these things in the previous session. If you have not watched my previous video, please do go back to my channel Folks Hub and open the playlist Applab. There are multiple videos out there. Please do check out all the videos in sequence for understanding the content better, right? And we are discussing about the Applab of CodeStudio. So if you have any questions regarding anything, you can just comment just below the video, right? I will be reaching out to you soon as possible. Okay. So, and then if you have any questions in creating any of the applications, right? We will be doing multiple applications after this block series again, right? So we will be doing multi-screen applications also. So I hope you have seen my multi-screen application videos, a few basic app videos, right? So do watch all of them. Use your creativity. Do if you want me to do anything, you can actually tell me, right? You can suggest me with anything, right? So I will be very happy to do that content for you, to bring that content to you, right? So yes, and today we will be discussing about data blocks. Okay, so yeah, let's get started, right? Now, without any delay, what is data? Data is nothing but if you want to store in the app labs data storage, right? So something like this in the table format if you want to store something, okay? Then you can actually use data blocks, right? So data is something like a database here, okay? So in the data category, you have, I mean, in the data tab, you have this kind of a thing where you will have key value pairs which you will be adding. Okay, everything will be in a table format. So you will store everything in the table format, and key value pairs are stored, right? So today we're going to discuss about all the data related blocks which are present in the category of data. Okay, so like I told you, we are using this in a table format, right? So if you want to access a table, that means you will have some rows, you will have some columns, right? If you want to get the values, so you will have rows and columns in the table format. So if you do not know about databases, you have to understand that database is something which can store data, app related data. Here if I want to specifically talk about Applab, right? App related data. So like let's suppose if you are using some form in your app, right? You will take some information from the user, and that information has to be stored somewhere, right? Where it will store that? It will be storing it in a table in your Applab database. Okay, so that is a database is nothing but which is used for storage, right? So whatever the content you're taking from the user, or whatever the thing you're taking from the user, if you want to store them, if you want to use it for any other purposes, right? You can absolutely do that, and many of the applications does the same, right? So they will be storing our names, they will be storing our email IDs, they'll be storing our passwords, they'll be storing our information like age, date of birth, right? So all these information, what do they do? Maybe like to just keep a track of our user information. They'll be using that, right? So that is all again another picture, another completely different scenario. But yes, today let's understand about these few blocks which are present in the data section, right? Starting off with get column. It's a self-explanatory block, right? So you just have to give the table name and then the column name, whichever you want to get, and it will be getting all the values of that column. Okay. So and then start web request. So this is like if you want to request data from the internet, right? Like if you have any URL from where you want to get the data from, you can absolutely use that here, right? And execute code after requesting this URL. Something will be the output, right? values or some data, whatever you're requesting for. So something will be given as output, and using that output, if you want to do if you want to use it in some function which is called as callback function, right? So after the request is complete, you will be executing this callback function which is written over here. Okay. So then in such cases you can use start web request function. Set key value. So you can set a key value pair, new key value pair into the Applab database, right, in the data storage. And then you can call callback function right after storing it, right? And then get key value. So unlike set key value, which sets the thing, get key value will get the value, right? Give it will get the key value pair. So these are called as setter and getter methods, right? So setter methods will always set the values and getter methods will always get the values, right? We have understood this in UI controls also. In UI controls category, we have set text, get text, right? Set number, get number, and set checked, get checked, right? Something similar to that, right? So set key value pair and get key value pair, okay? After that, you can absolutely perform a callback function also. So if you want something to happen while you're getting this key value pair, you can do that in that function, right? Like in the previous sessions, we already have discussed in the function blocks, how does a function work, right? So when you want to do a task, you will be writing a function, and callback is a function only, okay? So which calls whenever this particular thing is happening, right? And then you can create a new record. If you want to add data, you can create a new record using create record. You just have to write the table name, and then the record you have to pass, and then callback function will be there, okay? So callback is nothing but like when you want to call some function after creating the record. Read records, to read the records, to read the values, right? So you have to write the table name, you have to write the terms, and then you can just set a callback function also. And then update record, to update the record in the sense, I mean to say row, okay? You're updating the row, right? So you just have to write the table name, then the record which you want to update, and you have to write the callback function. Delete record, to delete the record from a table, you write the table name, you give the record, and then you call the callback function to delete that particular data, okay? And you have to be very specific while deleting the things, and you have to make sure that you're deleting the right thing, right? So if you're deleting the wrong one, again you have to create a new record, add it again, so that will become a mess, okay? So you have to be sure while deleting some record, is it this thing which I want to delete, or is it some other thing, right? You have to make sure of it. And then on record event, this is again a event driven function, right? So event driven function, we already I think understood about this, right? In the functions, I didn't I mean, I've not given any definition for event driven functions there, right? But we know that we have event driven function also, right? Event driven function means when some event occurs, then something will happen, right? So those are event driven functions, okay? Like mouse pressed events, key pressed events, touch events. So all these are event driven functions, like mouse pressed, key pressed, so on, like that, okay? And on record event is something similar to that. So it executes the callback function whenever you create, update, or delete any record from the specific table, right? So this happens, okay? Let's suppose if while you're creating a record and you want something to happen, right? Then you can use this on record event thing, right? So get user ID will get the user ID of your application, right? When, like, if you're creating any application and if you want to get the user ID of that particular user, you can get that, okay? And draw chart is to draw a chart, right? So if you want to specify the chart element, you can absolutely do that using the data provided, okay? So chart ID you have to give, chart type you have to write, chart data, options, callback, everything, right? So you have to provide all these parameters, only then you can draw a chart. And draw chart from records, right? So draw chart from records is like, you will have to let's suppose you're drawing a chart to the specified chart element using data retrieved from the specified data, okay? Then so you will be using draw chart from records, okay? So it draws a chart to the specified chart element, whatever you are specifying in the parameter, using the data retrieved from the specified table. Okay. So for that particular record, you're drawing a chart element basically. Okay. And then get prediction. So get prediction is like, let's suppose you are having any trend which you are predicting in your application, right? Like there are so many analysis we do in on the data, and we predict something out of that data. Okay. In such situations you will be using this kind of a get prediction thing. So you have to write name, id, data, and then the callback function. Whatever you want to do with this predicted data, you have to write that particular thing or the task in the callback function. Okay. So this is all about data blocks. I hope you understood this clearly, right? Any questions regarding any of these blocks, you can just comment in the comment section below. Okay. And any questions, you can absolutely ask them. I will be reaching out to you so soon as possible, right? And yeah, I'm very happy to help you all out there for any queries you have, right? And I think so we only are left out with the canvas category of blocks. So let's see that in our next section. Okay. Until then, I hope you know what you have to do, right? You have to go back to my channel, Folks Hub, watch all the videos in the Applab playlist, right? Any questions anywhere, you can always reach out to me. Okay. And so I will be meeting you in our next video. Okay. So you have to please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel, Folks Hub. I'll be meeting you guys in the next video. Bye bye until then, and have a great day, all.